The alarm bells rang through the Council's main sensor station. Vexatari jumped from his chair and stared at the massive screen in front of him. His 6 eyes blinked rapidly as he tried to understand what he was seeing. The readings made no sense. This cannot be right, he whispered to himself. His clawed fingers moved quickly across the control panel, running the scan again. The same impossible numbers appeared on his screen. Vexatari had worked at the sensor station for 20 years. He had seen many strange things in space: exploding stars, black holes, even the rare visits from the ancient keepers. But nothing like this. The energy signature was moving toward their galaxy. It was still very far away, but the sensors could detect it clearly. Whatever was creating this energy was huge. The power readings showed levels that should only come from an entire battle fleet. But the signature looked like it came from just one object. "Commander Theklar," Vexatari called. "Out. You need to see this right now." The tall, blue-skinned commander walked over with heavy steps. His people, the Zalani, were known for being calm in any situation. But when Theklar saw the readings, his face went pale. "Run a full diagnostic on all systems," Theklar ordered. "This has to be an error." 3 hours later, after checking every piece of equipment twice, they had to accept the truth. Something massive was coming toward their space. Something that generated more power than anything they had ever seen before. Far away, in a small yellow star system, Captain Hyun-woo Park stood on the bridge of the UES Aegis Prime. He looked out through the main viewing screen at the stars ahead. After 30 years of secret construction, humanity's greatest achievement was finally ready for its first real mission. The Aegis Prime was 15 kilometers long. It was shaped like a massive sword, with a hull that seemed to shimmer with blue energy. The ship held the most advanced technology that humans had ever created. Quantum fusion reactors powered systems that most alien races would not understand. For centuries. "Captain," said So-Young Kim from her engineering station, "all systems are running perfectly. The quantum drives are stable, and our power output is at normal levels." Hyun-woo nodded. Normal levels for the Aegis Prime meant enough energy to power a small planet. The ship's reactors worked by splitting space itself and using the released energy. It was clean, efficient, and incredibly powerful. "Communications Officer Lee, any word from Earth Command?" Hyun-woo asked. Taemin Lee checked his console. "Yes, sir. Admiral Chen sends his best wishes for our mission. Earth is proud of what we have built." The mission was simple in theory, but huge in practice. The Aegis Prime would travel beyond the solar system for the first time. They would map new star systems and look for signs of alien life. Humans had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had a ship powerful enough to find out safely. What the crew did not know was that alien races had been watching Earth for decades. The Council had marked humanity as a primitive species that would need at least 500 years to develop space travel. They were very wrong. Back at the Council station, Supreme Chancellor Morgeth received the emergency report. The ancient being had ruled the Council for over 2 centuries. In all that time, he had never seen his advisors look so worried. "You are telling me that a single vessel is generating power equal to our entire defense fleet?" Morgeth asked. "Yes, Chancellor," Vexatari replied, "and it is moving at speeds that should not be possible. Our best ships can barely reach half that velocity." Morgeth's tentacles curled with worry. The Council controlled over 800 different species across the galaxy. They had the most advanced technology known to exist. Their war fleets could destroy entire solar systems if needed, but this unknown vessel seemed to make their greatest achievements look like children's toys. "Send word to all Council members," Morgeth ordered. "We need an emergency meeting, and dispatch our fastest scout ships to get a closer look at this thing." The scout ships launched within hours. Captain Zilmar of the scout vessel Quick Strike was chosen to lead the mission. His ship was built for speed and stealth. It could observe targets from great distances without being detected. But as Zilmar's ship got closer to the unknown vessel, strange things began to happen. His sensors started giving confused readings. The energy from the massive ship was so intense that it interfered with his equipment. "Sir," reported his science officer, "I am detecting massive gravitational distortions around the target. It appears to be bending space around itself." Zilmar had never heard of such technology. The ability to bend space was theoretical at best. Even the Council's greatest scientists said it would take thousands of years to develop such power. Through the viewing screen, Zilmar finally got his first look at the mysterious vessel. His breath caught in his throat. The ship was enormous, bigger than anything he had ever seen. Its hull glowed with energy patterns that hurt to look at directly, and it moved through space with a grace that seemed impossible for something so large. "Get us out of here," Zilmar whispered. "Send all data back to the Council immediately." On the Aegis Prime, the crew went about their duties with calm efficiency. Chief Science Officer Bo Young Lee was excited about the stellar phenomena they were discovering. The quantum sensors could detect things that normal instruments would miss completely. "Captain," Bo Young called out, "I am picking up some interesting readings from nearby space. There appear to be several small vessels in the area." Hyun-woo looked at the tactical display. "Probably asteroids or space debris. This region should be empty according to our charts." "Actually, sir," interrupted Tactical Officer Dong Ho-yoon, "the movement patterns suggest artificial objects. They might be probes or small ships." The bridge went quiet. If there were ships out here, it meant they had found what they were looking for. Alien life existed, and it had found them first. "Red alert," Hyun-woo ordered calmly. "All hands to stations. We may have company." The crew moved quickly, but without panic. They had trained for this moment for years. The Aegis Prime was ready for anything the universe might throw at them. What they did not realize was that their very presence had already thrown the most powerful galactic government into complete chaos. The Council's emergency meeting was about to begin, and fear was spreading through every member species like wildfire. The first contact between humanity and the galaxy was about to change everything forever. Admiral Ji-hoon Choi stood in the command center of the Aegis Prime, watching the tactical displays with careful eyes. The reports from the bridge had reached him quickly. Unknown vessels were nearby, and their behavior suggested intelligence. Behind their movements, "Captain Park," Ji-hoon spoke into his communicator, "I am authorizing first contact protocols. This is what we trained for." On the bridge, Captain Hyun-woo felt a mix of excitement and responsibility. Humanity was about to meet alien life for the first time. Everything they did in the next few hours would shape the future of their species. "Dr. Han," Hyun-woo called to the ship's xenobiologist, "I need you on the bridge immediately. Bring all your communication equipment." Yoon-ji Han had spent her entire career preparing for this moment. She had studied every theory about alien communication, learned dozens of mathematical concepts that might be universal, and practiced with every type of signal equipment on the ship. "On my way, Captain," she replied, gathering her portable translation devices. Meanwhile, Tactical Officer Dong Ho-yoon kept his eyes fixed on the sensor readings. The small ships were maintaining their distance, but they were definitely watching. The Aegis Prime. Their movement patterns showed they were trying to scan the human vessel. "Sir," Dong Ho reported, "the unknown contacts appear to be running detailed scans on our ship. Their sensor beams are quite sophisticated." "Let them look," Hyun-woo decided. "We have nothing to hide, but keep our shields up just in case." What the human crew did not know was that the alien scouts were getting very confused readings from their scans. The Aegis Prime's quantum shielding made it almost impossible to get clear data about the ship's internal structure or capabilities. Captain Zilmar was growing frustrated aboard his scout ship Quick Strike. His best sensors could not penetrate the unknown vessel's defenses. Every scan attempt was either blocked or returned confusing data. "Science Officer Kexvar, what can you tell me about this ship?" Zilmar demanded. Kexvar's 4 arms moved across, multiple control panels at once. Sir, I have never seen anything like this. The energy shields around their hull are using technology I cannot identify. Our sensors are completely useless against it. What about the power source? That is the most disturbing part, Captain. The energy readings suggest they have multiple reactors, each one more powerful than anything in the Council fleet. And those readings might not even be accurate. Back at Council headquarters, Supreme Chancellor Morgeth was meeting with his top advisors. The emergency session had been called, and representatives from dozens of species were joining through quantum communication. Links. Diplomatic Commander Threndal, Morgeth addressed a tall, elegant being with silver skin. I am sending you to make first contact with this unknown vessel. Take our best diplomatic ship and a small escort fleet. Threndal had handled first contact situations many times before, but those had always been with primitive species that the Council had discovered. This situation was completely different. Chancellor, what if this species is hostile? Threndal asked. Our intelligence suggests their single ship outguns anything we have. Then we must be very careful not to anger them, Morgeth replied grimly. Take 12 of our best ships, but make sure they understand this is a peaceful mission. The Council's first contact fleet launched within 6 hours. 12 vessels from different member species, each one representing the best military technology the galaxy had to offer. The flagship was the diplomatic vessel Harmony, equipped with every known type of communication equipment. Commander Threndal stood on the bridge of the Harmony as they approached the unknown vessel. When they got close enough to see it clearly, the entire bridge crew fell silent. The alien ship was massive beyond anything they had imagined. It stretched across space like a metal mountain, its hull glowing with energy patterns that seemed to pulse like a heartbeat. The design was unlike anything in Council records, sleek and powerful in a way that suggested incredible engineering skills. By the ancient stars, whispered the Harmony's captain. How did they build something so large? More importantly, Threndal replied, how does something that size move so fast? Our sensors show it was traveling at impossible speeds when we first detected it. On the Aegis Prime, Dr. Yunji Han had set up her communication equipment on the bridge. She was ready to attempt contact using mathematical sequences, universal physical constants, and basic pictographic messages. Captain, she reported, I am detecting multiple vessels approaching our position. They are moving in formation, but slowly. It appears to be a peaceful approach. Hyun Woo studied the tactical display. 12 ships were arranged in a wide circle around the Aegis Prime, but they kept their distance. Their weapons were not targeting his ship, and their formation looked more protective than aggressive. They want to talk, he decided. Dr. Han, open all communication channels. Let's see if we can say hello. Yunji activated her equipment and began transmitting. She started with simple mathematical concepts, counting numbers, basic addition, the value of pi. These were concepts that any intelligent species should understand. Aboard the Harmony, communication specialist Velcrus detected the incoming signals immediately. Commander, they are transmitting on multiple frequencies. The patterns appear to be mathematical in nature. Can you decode it? Working on it now, sir. Yes, these are basic mathematical concepts. They are trying to establish that they are intelligent beings. Threndal felt a moment of relief. Mathematics was the universal language. If the unknown aliens were starting with math, they understood peaceful first contact procedures. Respond with the same type of signals, he ordered. Show them we understand. The next hour was spent exchanging increasingly complex mathematical concepts. Both sides demonstrated their intelligence and their peaceful intentions. Dr. Han was excited as the alien responses showed clear understanding of advanced mathematics and physics. Captain, she reported, they are definitely an advanced civilization. Their mathematical knowledge is very sophisticated. Good, Hyun Woo replied. Now let's see if we can move beyond numbers. Dr. Han began transmitting basic images, simple shapes, star charts, even pictures of human faces. The aliens responded with their own images, showing that they had multiple species working together. The breakthrough came when the aliens transmitted an image of their galaxy, with markers showing different star systems. Dr. Han immediately understood. They were showing the locations of their civilization. "Captain, I think they are trying to tell us about their government. These markers suggest they control a very large portion of the galaxy." This information made the bridge crew pause. If these aliens controlled that much space, they represented a massive civilization. Humanity was making contact with what appeared to be a galactic empire. "Send them our star charts," Hyunwoo decided. "Show them where Earth is located." When the aliens received the human star charts, confusion spread through the Council fleet. The unknown species came from a system that the Council had surveyed decades ago. They had classified it as home to a primitive civilization that had barely learned to use fire. "This cannot be correct," Threndal muttered. "Our records show that system contains only primitive life forms." "Sir," Velcrest reported, "I am getting more detailed scans of their vessel now. The energy signatures are incredible. This single ship generates more power than our entire fleet combined." The reality was starting to sink in for the Council representatives. They had discovered a species that had somehow developed incredible technology in just a few decades. The unknown aliens had gone from primitive to super advanced in what seemed like no time at all. On the Aegis Prime, the crew was pleased with their successful first contact. They had established communication with an alien civilization, and both sides seemed interested in peaceful relations. "Admiral Choi," Captain Hyun-woo reported to the command center. "First contact protocols are complete. The aliens appear peaceful and interested in further communication." "Excellent work, Captain," Ji-hoon replied. "Continue with standard diplomatic procedures. Let's see what we can learn about our new neighbors." Neither the humans nor the aliens realized that this peaceful first contact was about to become much more complicated. The Council fleet was growing nervous about the massive ship they faced, while the humans remained unaware of just how intimidating their presence appeared to the rest of the galaxy. The peaceful communication between the humans and the Council fleet had been going well for several hours. Both sides were learning basic information about each other through careful exchanges of mathematical concepts and simple images. Commander. Threndal aboard the diplomatic vessel, Harmony was starting to feel more confident about the situation. The unknown aliens seemed reasonable and intelligent. Their responses showed they understood the importance of peaceful contact between civilizations. "All ships, maintain current positions," Threndal ordered his fleet. "Continue passive scanning, but do not take any aggressive actions." However, Fleet Commander Kreshvar aboard the heavy cruiser Dominance had different ideas about the situation. His military mind was focused on the incredible power readings coming from the alien vessel. He had fought in 3 galactic wars and survived by being careful and prepared. "All vessels form defensive pattern 7 around the unknown ship," Kreshvar ordered without consulting Threndal. "We need to be ready for anything." The 12 Council ships began moving into a sphere formation around the Aegis Prime. To the alien military minds, this was a standard defensive position that showed they were ready but not hostile. To human eyes, it looked very different. The bridge of the Aegis Prime, Tactical Officer Dong-ho Yoon watched the alien ships move with growing concern. His training told him to recognize threat patterns, and what he saw looked like a classic surrounding maneuver. "Captain," Dong-ho reported with tension in his voice, "the alien vessels are moving to surround us. They are taking positions at all angles around our ship." Captain Hyunwoo studied the tactical display carefully. The alien ships were indeed forming a complete sphere around the Aegis Prime. In human military doctrine, this was an aggressive move that suggested an attack was coming. "Red alert," Hyunwoo ordered. "All hands to battle stations. Dr. Han, stop all communications immediately." The bridge lights changed to red, and alarms began sounding throughout the massive ship. Thousands of crew members moved quickly to their combat positions. After years of training, they were ready for battle in minutes. Admiral Ji-hoon Choi arrived on the bridge within moments of the alert. He looked at the tactical display and saw the same threatening pattern that had worried his captain. Analysis. "Mr. Yoon," Ji-hoon requested. "Sir, 12 vessels in perfect spherical formation around our position. Classic encirclement pattern used before attack. They moved into position right after we shared our star charts with them." Ji-hoon nodded grimly. It seemed that sharing Earth's location had been a mistake. Perhaps these aliens wanted to know where humanity lived so they could attack later. "Captain Park, I am authorizing a show of force," Admiral Ji-hoon decided. "Make it clear that we are not helpless prey." "Understood, sir," Hyun-woo replied. He turned to his weapons officer. "Commander Shin, prepare a demonstration." "Nothing. That will hurt them, but something that will make them think twice about attacking us." Weapons Officer Hae-won Shin had been waiting for this moment her entire career. The Aegis Prime carried weapon systems that were decades ahead of anything humanity had built before. She was eager to show what they could do. "Yes, sir," Hae-won replied with excitement. "I recommend a point defense demonstration followed by a low-power torpedo display." "Make it so." The first sign of the Aegis Prime's power came from its point defense systems. These weapons were designed to destroy incoming missiles and small fighters. To demonstrate their accuracy, Hae-won targeted several large asteroids that were floating in nearby space. Beams of pure energy lanced out from dozens of weapon ports along the ship's hull. The asteroids, some as large as city blocks, simply disappeared. They were turned into vapor so quickly that there was no debris left behind. Aboard the Council ships, alarms began screaming. The unknown vessel had just fired weapons with power levels that shocked every sensor operator in the fleet. "By all the ancient gods," whispered Science Officer Kexvar aboard the Quick Strike. "Those were point defense weapons. They're defensive. Guns have more power than our main battle cannons." Fleet Commander Kreshvar watched his sensor displays with growing horror. The energy readings from the alien weapons were beyond anything in Council records. A single one of those beams could cut through his ship's armor like it was made of paper. "All ships, maintain positions but charge defensive shields to maximum," Kreshvar ordered, trying to keep panic out of his voice. On the Aegis Prime, Commander Hae-won was just getting started. The point defense demonstration had been impressive, but she wanted to show the real power of her weapons. "Captain, requesting permission to fire quantum torpedoes at minimum power setting." "Granted, but aim them at empty space. I want a show of force, not a massacre." Hae-won selected a point in space far from any of the alien ships. The quantum torpedoes were the Aegis Prime's most advanced weapons, capable of tearing holes in space itself. Even at minimum power, they were devastating. 2 torpedoes launched from the ship's forward tubes. They streaked through space, leaving trails of twisted energy behind them. When they reached the target point, they exploded in flashes of light that could be seen from thousands of kilometers away. The explosions created temporary distortions in space that made all nearby sensors go crazy. The energy release was so intense that it created brief artificial auroras on the hulls of the Council ships. Medical Officer In-soo Nam on the Aegis Prime was monitoring the alien vessels through the ship's sensors. He noticed that several of the alien ships were showing signs of system failures. "Captain," In-soo reported, "I am detecting power fluctuations on several of the alien vessels. It appears our weapons fire is interfering with their systems." Captain Hyun-woo was surprised by this news. The torpedoes had exploded in empty space, nowhere near the alien ships. He had no idea that the energy from advanced human weapons was so intense that even the background radiation could disrupt alien technology. "Are they in any danger?" he asked. "I do not think so, sir. Their power systems appear to be stabilizing, but their shields seem to be having trouble with the energy interference. What Medical Officer Nam did not realize was that the minor power fluctuations he was detecting represented complete system failures on the alien ships. The quantum torpedo explosions had released so much energy that the Council vessel's shields had been overloaded and shut down completely. Aboard the heavy cruiser Dominance, Fleet Commander Kreshvar stared at his status displays in disbelief. His ship's main deflector shields, the most advanced defensive technology in the Council fleet, had been completely overwhelmed. "Engineering report!" he demanded. "Sir, the energy wave from those explosions was unlike anything we have ever encountered. Our shields could not handle the quantum interference. We are completely defenseless right now. How long to restore shields?" "At least 6 hours, sir. The quantum resonance has damaged our shield generators. We need major repairs." The same story was repeated across the entire Council fleet. 11 of the 12 ships had lost their shields completely. The 12th ship, a small scout vessel, had managed to shut down its shields fast enough to avoid damage, but it was still defenseless. Commander Threndal aboard the Harmony tried to maintain diplomatic calm, but inside he was terrified. The unknown aliens had just demonstrated that they could destroy his entire fleet without even trying. Their warning shots had been more powerful than the Council's heaviest weapons. "All ships, this is Threndal," he broadcast to his fleet. "Do not make any aggressive moves. Repeat, no aggressive actions. We are completely outmatched." On the Aegis Prime, the crew was confused by the alien reaction. The demonstration had been designed to show strength while avoiding harm, but the alien ships were acting like they had been attacked. "Sir," Tactical Officer Dong Ho reported, "the alien vessels are pulling back to longer range. Their formation is breaking up." "Good," Admiral Ji-hoon said with satisfaction. "They understand that we are not easy targets. Dr. Han, resume communications. Let them know we want peace, but we can defend ourselves if necessary." Dr. Yoon-ji Han activated her communication equipment again. She began transmitting peaceful mathematical sequences, trying to show that the weapon demonstration was defensive, not aggressive. But the Council fleet was no longer thinking about mathematics or peaceful contact. They were thinking about survival. They had just encountered a species with technology so advanced that it made the entire galactic civilization look primitive. Fleet Commander Kreshvar made a decision that would change everything. "All ships, retreat to minimum safe distance. Send emergency messages to Council headquarters. Tell them we have encountered a threat unlike anything in galactic history." The 12 Council ships pulled back to extreme range, far enough that they hoped the human weapons could not reach them. They continued to monitor the massive alien vessel, but now they watched with fear instead of curiosity. The peaceful first contact had turned into a demonstration of overwhelming power. Neither side had wanted this to happen, but misunderstandings and military caution had created a situation that would soon spread panic throughout the galaxy. The humans thought they had successfully defended themselves from a potential threat. The aliens knew they had just met their new masters. The emergency message from Fleet Commander Kreshvar reached Council headquarters faster than any communication in galactic history. The quantum relay network carried news of humanity across thousands of star systems in minutes. Supreme Chancellor Morgoth stood in the Council's main chamber, reading the report with growing disbelief. Around him, representatives from hundreds of species were arriving through holographic projectors. The chamber had not seen such a gathering since the last Galactic War. "Read the report again?" Morgoth ordered his aide. "Yes, Chancellor. Fleet. Commander Kreshvar reports that the unknown vessel demonstrated weapons technology that completely overwhelmed our most advanced defensive systems. All ships in the diplomatic fleet lost their shields from the energy backwash of weapons fired into empty space." A murmur of fear rippled through the assembled representatives. The Council's military technology was the most advanced in the known galaxy. If it could be rendered useless so easily, then everything had changed. Strategic Commander Velthorn stepped forward. He was the Council's top military analyst, a being who had studied warfare for over 3 centuries. His species, the Vorthak, were known for their logical minds and strategic thinking. Chancellor, I have run preliminary analysis on the energy readings from Commander Kreshevar's report, Velthorn announced. The results are deeply troubling. Explain. The unknown species' point defense weapons, their smallest guns, generate more power than our heavy battle cruisers' main cannons. Their torpedo weapons create energy releases comparable to stellar explosions. The chamber fell silent. Several representatives began whispering urgently to their home governments. The implications were clear to everyone present. How is this possible? Asked Ambassador Kexalara of the hegemony. Our intelligence report said the species from that system was primitive. They should not even have spaceflight yet. Velthorn's data screens showed star charts and intelligence reports. Our last survey of their system was 47 years ago. At that time, they had just developed basic metal working. They were using simple tools and had no advanced technology. 47 years, Morgeth repeated slowly. They went from metal tools to this level of technology in 47 years? It appears so, Chancellor. Either our intelligence was completely wrong, or this species develops technology at speeds we cannot comprehend. In another part of the galaxy, similar conversations were happening on hundreds of worlds. The news of humanity's power was spreading like wildfire through the galactic communication networks. On the military world of Keth Prime, General Zarthek was meeting with his top commanders. The Kethran Empire controlled over 50 star systems and had the second-largest military force in the galaxy. How many ships would we need to defeat this unknown vessel? Zarthek asked his fleet admiral. Admiral Morkes had been running combat simulations since the report arrived. Sir, based on the energy readings, I estimate we would need our entire battle fleet. Even then, victory is not certain. Our entire fleet. That is over 2,000 warships. Yes, sir. And that assumes their single vessel is not capable of calling for reinforcements. This same calculation was being repeated on military worlds throughout the galaxy. Every species was trying to figure out how to deal with this new threat. Most were reaching the same terrifying conclusion. They could not win a war against humanity. Back. On the Aegis Prime, the crew was unaware of the panic they had caused. Captain Hyun Woo was in his ready room, writing his report to Earth Command about the successful first contact. Intelligence Officer Yejin Bei knocked on his door. Captain, I have been monitoring alien communication signals. You need to see this. She handed him a data pad with translated intercepted messages. As Hyunwoo read, his expression changed from curiosity to concern. They think we are some kind of galactic threat, he said after reading several messages. These communications suggest they are preparing for war. Yes, sir. I have detected military movements throughout their space. Multiple species are mobilizing their fleets. Hyun-woo activated his communicator. Dr. Han to the ready room immediately. When Yoonji Han arrived, she found the captain and intelligence officer looking worried. Sir, is there a problem with the first contact? Dr. Han, in your opinion, did we do anything that could be seen as threatening or aggressive? Yoonji thought carefully about the events of the past day. Well, we did fire our weapons when they surrounded us, but we made sure to aim at empty space, and we resumed peaceful communications afterward. Apparently, our warning shots were more impressive than we intended, Hyunwoo explained, showing her the intercepted communications. As Yoonji read the alien messages, she began to understand the scope of the problem. Captain, they are not just afraid of our ship. They are afraid of our entire species. These messages suggest they think we are planning to conquer their civilization. Meanwhile, on the Council ship Harmony, Commander Threndal was trying to maintain diplomatic contact with the human vessel. But his own government was making this increasingly difficult. Commander, his communication officer reported, we are receiving orders to withdraw immediately. The Council wants all diplomatic contact suspended until they can determine how to handle this situation. Threndal looked at the massive human ship on his viewing screen. The vessel had made no aggressive moves since the weapon demonstration. In fact, the humans seemed to be trying to resume peaceful communications. Ignore those orders, Threndal decided. I am the senior diplomatic officer on scene. As long as they remain peaceful, we will continue to maintain contact. His decision was brave, but futile. Throughout the galaxy, the momentum toward conflict was building rapidly. Fear was spreading faster than reason, and military leaders were preparing for the worst possible scenarios. On the industrial world of Mechanus, the great weapon factories were beginning to increase production. If war was coming with this super-advanced species, they would need every advantage they could create. Master Engineer Kolvex was reviewing plans for new weapon designs. Can we increase the power output of our heavy cannons? He asked his design team. Sir, we can increase output by 15% with current technology, but based on the energy readings from the unknown vessel, it would make little difference. Then we need new technology. Contact the research institutes. Tell them, this is a priority above all others. Similar conversations were happening on research worlds throughout the galaxy. Scientists were working frantically to develop new weapons and defenses, but deep in their hearts, most knew they were years behind the technology they had witnessed. Security. Chief Mi-Kyung-Oh, aboard the Aegis Prime, was monitoring the increasing alien military activity. Her sensors could detect ships moving throughout nearby space, all heading in their general direction. Captain, she reported to Hyun-Woo, I am detecting massive fleet movements in surrounding star systems. It appears multiple species are deploying their military forces. How many ships? Hundreds, sir. Possibly thousands. They are still far away, but they seem to be moving to surround our position from all directions. Admiral Ji-Hoon Choi received this report with growing concern. The peaceful exploration mission was turning into a potential war. Earth had sent one ship to explore the galaxy, and they had accidentally terrified an entire galactic civilization. Captain, Park, Ji-Hoon ordered. Prepare the ship for possible combat operations. If they want to fight, we will give them one they will never forget. But even as the Aegis Prime prepared for battle, some crew members wondered if there might be another way. Cultural specialist Woo Jin Kang had been studying the alien communications and behavior patterns. Admiral, Woo Jin requested a meeting. I believe there may be a misunderstanding here. The alien reactions suggest they are acting out of fear, not aggression. Explain. Sir, their military preparations look defensive, not offensive. They are not trying to attack us. They are trying to protect themselves from us. This observation gave Admiral Ji-Hoon pause. If the aliens were afraid, rather than aggressive, then perhaps there was still a chance for peace. But with thousands of alien warships gathering nearby, they were running out of time to find a solution. The galaxy stood on the edge of a war that nobody wanted, but everyone was preparing for. The Council's terror of humanity's power was driving them toward the very conflict they feared most. And in the middle of it all, one human ship waited to see what the future would bring. The Great Council chamber had never seen such chaos. Representatives from 847 different species were gathered through quantum communication links, all talking at once. Fear filled every voice as they debated what to do about the human threat. Supreme Chancellor Morageth struggled to maintain order. His ancient voice carried across the chamber, but even his authority seemed small compared to the terror that gripped the galaxy. Order! We must have order, Morageth demanded. We cannot make good decisions if everyone speaks at once. Ambassador Hexalara of the Teridian Union stood up. Her people controlled one of the largest military forces in the galaxy. Chancellor, we have been monitoring the situation for 3 days now. The human vessel has not moved, but our scout reports show it is scanning everything within 50 light years. What kind of scans? Asked Strategic Commander Velthorn. Unknown technology. Our sensors cannot identify the scanning method, but The power levels suggest they can see through our stealth systems. They know the location of every ship we have deployed. This news sent another wave of fear through the chamber. The Council had positioned over 3,000 warships around the human vessel, staying at what they hoped was a safe distance. If the humans could detect all of them, then there was no element of surprise. Military options, Morgeth asked. Grimly, General Caxvan of the warrior clans spoke up. We have run every simulation possible. Even with our combined fleets, victory against this single vessel is uncertain, and we have no idea how many more ships they might have. Diplomatic options? They continue to transmit peaceful messages, reported Commander Threndal through his communication link. But given their overwhelming technological advantage, we have no way to verify their true intentions. The debate continued for hours. Some species wanted to attack immediately, hoping to destroy the human ship before it could call for reinforcements. Others wanted to surrender and hope for mercy. A few suggested abandoning entire sectors of space and fleeing to the far edge of the galaxy. None of the options seemed good. Far away on Earth, President Seok-Jin Ryu was meeting with his top military advisors in the secure command bunker beneath Seoul. The reports from the Aegis Prime had reached Earth through quantum communication, and the situation was clear. Admiral Chen, President Ryu addressed his military chief. What is your assessment? Admiral Chen looked at the tactical displays showing the positions of alien fleets. Sir, Captain Park and Admiral Choi are facing impossible odds. Thousands of alien ships are moving to surround them. Can the Aegis Prime handle that many enemies? Probably, sir, but the political implications are severe. If we destroy that many alien ships, we will be seen as galaxy-conquering monsters. Every species out there will unite against us. President Ryu nodded thoughtfully. Earth had been monitoring galactic communications for decades through long-range sensor arrays. They knew about the Council and its member species. The Aegis Prime had been built specifically to ensure humanity entered galactic politics from a position of strength. What are your orders, sir? Admiral Chen asked. President Ryu looked at the star charts showing human space compared to the vast galactic civilization beyond. Humanity controlled one small solar system. The aliens controlled thousands of worlds across the galaxy. Send new orders to Admiral Choi, President Ryu decided. He is authorized to use any force necessary to protect his ship and crew. Show them that humanity cannot be intimidated. The orders reached the Aegis Prime within hours. Admiral Ji-hoon read them carefully, then called a meeting with his senior officers in the ship's main conference room. Earth Command has given us full authorization for aggressive action, Ji-hoon announced. We are to demonstrate human strength and make it clear that we will not be threatened. Captain Hyun-woo studied the tactical reports showing alien fleet positions. Sir, we could destroy their entire armada without much difficulty. Our weapons have the range and power to reach them even at their current distance. That is exactly what Earth wants us to do, Ji-hoon confirmed. We show them that humanity is not to be trifled with. But cultural specialist Woo Jin Kung raised his hand. Admiral, permission to speak freely? Granted. Sir, I have been studying the alien communications for days now. They are not acting like conquerors or aggressors. They are acting like frightened people who think we are going to destroy them. The conference room fell quiet. Chief Science Officer Bo Young Lee nodded in agreement. Woo Jin is right, sir. Their fleet movements are defensive. They are trying to protect their home worlds, not attack us. Navigation Officer Sung-Ho Park had been plotting courses through the surrounding space. Admiral, if we wanted to attack their major worlds, their current fleet positions would not stop us. They have to know this. So why are they gathering so many ships? The question hung in the air. Admiral Ji-hoon realized that his officers were asking him to consider something that Earth Command had not. What if the aliens were not the enemy? What are you suggesting? Ji-hoon asked. Captain Hyun-woo looked at his fellow officers, then back at the admiral. Sir, I am suggesting that we have a choice to make. We can follow Earth's orders and become the galaxy's greatest threat. Or we can choose a different path. What different path? We show them what humanity really represents. Not conquest and destruction, but protection and cooperation. Admiral Ji-hoon was quiet for a long moment. He had spent his entire career following orders and serving his government, but now he was being asked to choose between orders and conscience. What do you propose, Captain? Hyun-woo activated the star charts. Sir, our sensors have detected something that the aliens seem to have missed. The Kalani system, about 2 days from here, is in serious trouble. He showed them the sensor readings. The Kalani system had a rogue black hole passing through it. The black hole's gravity was pulling their star out of position, which would destroy all life in the system within months. The Kalani are one of the council species, Hyun-woo continued. According to our intelligence, they have a population of over 2 billion, and our quantum manipulation technology could save them. You want to help them? Ji-hoon asked. Yes, sir. Instead of showing the galaxy our weapons, we show them our values. We prove that humans use their power to protect life, not destroy it. Chief, Science Officer Bo Young was already running calculations. Admiral, it would work. Our quantum drives can create artificial gravity fields strong enough to push the black hole away from their star. It would take about 48 hours of continuous operation. Admiral Ji-hoon looked around the conference room at his officers. These were good people who had dedicated their lives to serving humanity. If they believed this was the right choice, perhaps it was worth considering. The risks? He asked. If we do this, we will be openly defying Earth command, Captain Hyun-woo admitted. We could all face court-martial when we return home. And if we don't do this, then we become the galaxy's worst nightmare. Every species out there will spend the rest of their existence trying to find ways to destroy us. The decision was not easy. Admiral Ji-hoon thought about his duty to Earth, his responsibility to his crew, and his obligations to the future of humanity. Mr. Park, he finally said to the navigation officer, set course for the Kalani system. Maximum speed. Sir? Captain Hyun-woo asked, surprised by the quick decision. If we are going to defy orders, we might as well do it properly, Ji-hoon replied with a slight smile. Dr. Lee, prepare the quantum manipulation systems. We have a star system to save. The Aegis Prime changed course and accelerated toward the Kalani system. The massive ship's quantum drives pushed it to speeds that the alien sensors could barely track. Within hours, they had left the area where thousands of alien warships waited for battle. On the Council ship Harmony, Commander Threndal watched, in confusion as the human vessel suddenly departed at incredible speed. Where are they going? He asked his navigation officer. Sir, their course appears to be toward the Kalani system. Threndal knew about the Kalani crisis. The Council had declared the system unsavable and had begun evacuation operations. But the evacuation was going slowly, and billions would die when their star was pulled out of position. Follow them, Threndal ordered, but maintain maximum distance. I want to see what they plan to do. Word of the human ship's movement spread quickly through the Council communication networks. Within hours, every major government in the galaxy knew that the mysterious humans were heading toward the doomed Kalani system. Some thought it was a trick. Others wondered if the humans planned to finish off the dying system. But a few began to hope that maybe, just maybe, they had been wrong about humanity's intentions. The Aegis Prime arrived at the Kalani system as their star was being pulled visibly out of its normal position. On the planets below, billions of insectoid Kalani were preparing to die. Their evacuation ships could only save a small fraction of their population. Admiral, Chief Science Officer Bo Young reported, I have a clear lock on the black hole. Quantum manipulation systems are ready. Do it, Admiral Ji-hoon ordered. The Aegis Prime's most advanced technology activated. Invisible fields of twisted space-time reached out and grabbed the rogue black hole.